Happy hour. Cheers. Have you ever watched one of those home makeover shows where they cover the entire room with giant sheets and tarps while they're renovating? And for most of the show, it looks worse than it did before, and you can't imagine how they're gonna pull it all off. You start to wonder if they took on more than they could handle this time. Where once there were walls, there's now only wooden framing and everything's covered in sawdust. Nothing makes sense. You can't tell what room they're in and how it'll all fit back together again. Like if you tuned in halfway through the project, you probably think something had gone terribly wrong. But the truth is you're not looking at the finished room. You're looking at the renovation. The renovation is supposed to be messy and a bit chaotic. It's the rebuilding phase. And I think that's exactly where a lot of us are in life right now, especially us women in our 40s. We look around and think, why am I not further along? Why haven't I figured this out yet? Why does everyone else seem to know who they are while I'm still trying to figure it out? Well, today I want to share an idea that has completely changed how I think about personal growth. What if you're not behind? What if you're simply mid-reveal? I think one of the most damaging beliefs we carry around is the idea that we're somehow late. We're always in a hurry, but somehow always late. What is that? We're too late to change careers, to pursue a dream, to get healthy, to write that book. Too late to start over, to start a business, to become who we're meant to be. We treat life like there's a deadline we somehow missed, as if everyone else received the blueprint and we were somehow absent that day. The problem is, we're constantly comparing our unfinished middle to somebody else's highlight reel. And guess what? That person is doing the same thing to someone else. And doing this leads us to believe we're falling behind. But we have to remember this. Now isn't the end of our story. And just because we're here now doesn't mean we're stuck here forever. We are going somewhere. Going somewhere, people. And as I've been reciting this week's affirmation, I am a beautiful work of art. I'm unveiling myself one day at a time. It reminded me how I'm not necessarily creating anymore. I'm not quite fixing or even really reinventing. The work I'm doing on myself now really is more like unveiling. And that's a huge difference because unveiling suggests something deeper. It suggests the masterpiece is already there. It suggests that all the years of good work we put into ourselves up to this point is all sitting right under the surface, like my six-pack. We're not creating ourselves from scratch. Our true self just needs to be revealed as we get comfortable letting the parts we've been hiding be seen. Bit by bit, day by day, and maybe confidence isn't something you build. Maybe it's something you uncover. Maybe purpose isn't something you find. Maybe it's something you've been carrying all along and just need to be brave enough to acknowledge it. These revelations from my happy work this week led me to one question I've been thinking about a lot. What's waiting inside of you that you're too scared to let out? For me, there have been several things. The writer, the creator, the woman willing to put herself on YouTube and risk looking foolish, the woman willing to stop hiding behind perfection, the woman willing to admit she doesn't have everything figured out. Every one of those versions of me existed long before they ever showed up publicly. Fear was simply keeping them under wraps, and fear is very convincing and very counterproductive to my pre-meta body. Fear tells us, wait until you're ready, until every piece is perfectly in place. Wait until you're more confident. Wait until you're better, thinner, smarter. You have the right makeup and clothes, and so no one will make fun of you or troll you. But if we listen long enough, we wake up one day and realize we spent years waiting to become somebody we already are. We just haven't shared her with anyone else yet. This lesson has shown up in my health journey too. For most of my life, I've measured my success through my ability to control my weight. Things got out of hand. I know what to do. I rein it back in. Simple. Now that I'm going through this huge shift in everything, I'm having to redefine success in my health. Things like putting more value on sleep, recovery, lowering stress, balancing my sugar levels. For example, I've had to admit that slow and steady strength training is better than the HIIT workouts I love so much. I can run, but only once a week. And for the First time in my life I'm setting sleep goals before weight goals, and honestly, the whole thing is scary and very uncomfortable. I keep thinking, what if it doesn't work? But then I think it's already not working. At least you're trying something, and sleeping more and stressing less is always a good thing, right? Because growth often requires letting go of old definitions, old identities, old ways of measuring your worth. Sometimes the unveiling isn't becoming more, sometimes it's releasing what no longer fits. So if you've been feeling behind lately, I want to offer you a different possibility. What if nothing has gone wrong? What if this season of your life isn't proof that you failed? What if it's simply part of your reveal? What if life isn't asking you to become someone new? What if it's asking you to finally stop hiding the person you've been all along? And before I go, I want to leave you with one question. I know there's a lot of questions, but one more question. What's waiting inside of you that you're too scared to let out? Don't answer for your entire life, just answer for this week. Maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's a dream, maybe it's a project. Maybe it's a piece of yourself you've been keeping hiding. Whatever it is, let out a little, just a little, just a little. Because you're not behind, you're not broken, you're not running out of time. You're a beautiful work of art, unveiling yourself one day at a time, and masterpieces are never revealed all at once. And if you've enjoyed this episode of Happy Hour with me, Heather B., please like this video, and if you'd like to join me again next week, go ahead and hit subscribe. A link to the playlist is available in the description down below. Until next Happy Hour, my lovelies, ciao and cheers.